carried on. People spend hard times and some are dead because of terrible climate change and the destruction of Earth environment in the world. And ecosystem in the world is on the way to collapsing, and we're about to step into mass extinction because of artificial terrible climate change. And what interests people the most in the world is a fairy tale of money and sustainable economic growth of their countries. So how dare you? So this is a summary what Greta Thunberg made a speech about at 2019 Climate Action Summit held in New York. And she is the youngest climate activist in the world from Sweden, and she is almost symbolic climate activist in the world who earnestly blows a whistle to global warming problem and also lets us be aware of the sense of crisis towards global warming problem. And I have no critical perspective towards her activity. Rather, she is one of the most thankful climate activists that makes us realize the serious situation of global warming problem around the world and the destruction of Earth environment and tragedy that may happen in the future because of these factors. So recently, the odds have been against her, like scientists, scholars, and debaters and newscasters around the world send her realistic feedbacks that contain critical perspective towards her inflexible and realistic insist or plan. And for example, there's a mention like she was able to initiate this kind of movement about terrible climate change around the world because she received a really great benefit from the country where she was born and raised. Like Sweden is one of the most blessed countries in the world that is well developed socially and economically, so that she could receive really good education from this country. And and the huge amount of factors that cause global warming problems is intertwined behind the scene that we never know more complicatedly than she imagines. And there are so many people on the earth under the circumstance that they have no choice but to use a certain fuels that cause emission of huge amount of CO2 for their livings, even though they already understand how harmful it is for Earth environment. So this is not really a simple problem to achieve the goal she set to improve the Earth's environment. If you strongly pull entangled threads, each threads are tied firmly, remaining tangled, right? So if you want to untangle threads, you have to carefully untangle threads one by one. So she really have to know how she can compromise the process of goal achievement according to people's circumstance. So in India, where there are so many people who make a living with a lower standard of living than the global poverty threshold, it is not really rare that people live in an environment where there is no gas and electricity. On the other hand, India has a great amounts of land, great deal of lands that contain, plentiful coal. So if Greta's insist was accepted affirmatively by people around the world, it would be not really different from the situation where people around the world would say like, you stop using coal for living, but you have to prioritize problematizing global warming problem caused by coal or something. So I really understand her passion towards the Earth environment and global warming problem. However, personally, I think there are three things that she needs to learn in the process of realizing her objective. The first one is understanding others' circumstance, and the second is that there is no drastic change in this world, but change is promoted little by little, gradually, to the extent that nobody realizes it. And third is a great sublime plan is achieved through through execution of thousands of compromises and trial and error. And sometimes I think it is really important for her to experience setbacks in the process of realizing her objective in the face of resistance force, because that will test her really good determination, right? So I think many times I think she have to know things will not work straight as she want to carry out. So I hope she will be blessed with so many chances to grow up with these three factors at some points of life from now. Yeah, this is what I think.